Parks Lumber Company has continuously served Lawrence and surrounding counties for over a century. No matter your building needs, our experienced staff will be with you every step of the way to ensure you receive the highest customer service and attention to detail you deserve. We guarantee you will see working with PLC is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your weather today.
Well, good Tuesday morning. Taylor Plott here in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center with your latest forecast. Things are looking absolutely fantastic for your Tuesday. Get outside and enjoy it if you can, because changes are on the way. Some stormy weather will be coming in later on this week. We have a lot to talk about. Let's dive right into it. Start with your day forecast. Again, like I mentioned, things looking absolutely fantastic out there. Starting the day off on the cooler side, we'll start off at about 42 degrees, warming up to 64 degrees by about noon. And then once we get into the 4 o'clock hour, things warm up even more than that, getting up towards 73 degrees. Mid-70s are expected on your Tuesday, and just, again, like I mentioned, is an absolutely fantastic day out there. Temperature trends still looking good over the next 7 days, getting up to 74 for your Wednesday, eventually getting up to 77 degrees on your Friday, and that's unfortunately going to set the stage for some stormy weather coming in Friday and Saturday. Then behind that cold front, we'll dip back down into the 50s for your Sunday. Futurecast for the next 24 hours, the only thing you're going to be seeing change on this map, that's just going to be the temperatures. Everything's crystal clear for the next couple of days. This evening, we'll see temperatures drop back down into the 60s and 50s and eventually down to the 40s by the time we wake up on your Wednesday morning. 7 a.m. on Wednesday, seeing temperatures generally in the low and mid 40s out there, and will quickly rise once again back into the 70s for your Wednesday. Let's talk about those changes. We got a lot to talk about, so let's kind of take things step by step here. First off, we're watching the system off to our west tomorrow. That's going to spark the potential for severe weather across parts of the Arklatex region, parts of Oklahoma, and that will eventually move into our neck of the woods once we get into Thursday. But by the time it moves over our area, we're really not seeing much in the way of severe weather. There's probably going to be some storms out there, but I don't really see a big severe weather risk with this first initial wave, because that's really what it ends up being. It's a wave. It's not really a consolidated area of low pressure like you would need for a big-time severe risk. We don't really see that for your Thursday, but we do expect rain and storms during the day on Thursday. I don't think it's going to be an absolute washout, but you'll probably need that umbrella handy at any given moment during your Thursday. Now, once we get into Friday, this is jump forward. This is just past midnight on Friday going into Saturday morning, but during the late evening hours on Friday, we'll have to watch this first initial round. We'll call this round 1 for our storm potential, and this could be the chance at some strong to severe storms during the late evening Friday going into the early morning hours on Saturday. So that's round 1 we'll have to watch for. Round 2 looks to be the potential for more robust storm development out there. This is 7 p.m. on your Saturday. Warm, moist air moving up into our area. That should set the stage for showers and storms to develop during the afternoon and evening hours, and these are the ones we'll have to watch even on Friday, but really and truly these on Saturday could be some pretty robust storms out there. So regarding storm potential, severe storm potential, that's still what it is right now. We're still several days out, so things can change, but right now what we're really looking at from the broader scope of things is, are the ingredients in place? And the ingredients are in place for all hazards. That's what we're talking about right here, all hazards, so that includes the risk of tornadoes. Now, I do want to take a moment and talk about, we don't know the magnitude yet. So some people can look at this and be like, we're having huge tornadoes, we're having huge hail, we're having major damaging winds. That's not what we're saying. We don't know the magnitude yet. We know that things are ripe for the potential for those type of severe storms, but we don't know, is damaging winds going to be the big issue? Is that going to be up to 90 miles an hour? Are we going to have, EF2, EF3 type of tornadoes? We don't know that yet. Once we get into Wednesday and Thursday, specifically Thursday, we'll start to get a better idea on some of those finer details that we just can't see yet. We need the higher resolution models in order for us to take a peek at those, and we don't have them yet. So that's what we're saying right now. There's a potential for this to have some severe weather with it, but we don't know the exact magnitude of things yet. So that's why we need to keep on checking back for the latest. So this is Friday into early Friday evening. Everything's off to the west for now. Then once we get into the Friday late evening into the overnight hours, that's when we'll start to see our first round, like I mentioned, of storm potential, severe storm potential moving in Friday night. Again, all hazards will be possible. And then, like I mentioned, we'll have more redevelopment that comes around on Saturday, and that could also give us a chance at some severe weather. So all forms of severe weather on the table. It's not, unheard of because we're in March now. This is our spring tornado season or spring severe weather season. So what do you need to do to be prepared, especially with this being still several days out? Just continue to stay weather aware, like we mentioned. Have a few days of supplies if you want to go ahead and get that taken care of. Go to the store, get some water. Just be able to have supplies for a few days in case you do have a tornado that comes through your area and you're without power for several days. You'll be able to just withstand that for at least a short majority of the time, or for at least a short period of time, I should say. Know your safety plan. Again, especially if you have kids, make sure they're informed on this. Say, hey, we could have some rough weather today. Here's what we need to do. Here's where we need to go in case certain things happen. So know your safety plan. The best thing I can tell you, especially when it comes to surviving a tornado, is helmets. That's one of the big things. Blunt force trauma to the head actually is one of the big killers when it comes to tornadoes. So if you have a helmet, the chances of surviving are much greater. Make sure you have a flashlight, and of course your weather radio batteries are good to go. And make sure your insurance is up to date and any documents you have protected. Keep them in like a Ziploc bag, kind of a waterproof bag, and keep them stored away in a safe spot in case you need it. Here's your emergency kit checklist. Like I mentioned, flashlight, batteries, you definitely need those. Make sure you might need an air horn. Who knows? You might be having to get out from under some rubble. You need some help. Have that air horn ready to go. Batteries, boots, cell phone, first aid kit, all this stuff, regardless of whether you have a risk coming up this week or the risk is 3 weeks down the road. You need to make sure you have this prepared anyway because we are in our severe weather season. So having this prepared even well before an event is very, very useful to have. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Again, we have that first initial shot at showers and storms Wednesday into Thursday, temperature staying in the 70s. And then, of course, we're watching that storm system coming on Friday and Saturday for that potential for severe weather. And behind it, we're looking nice and dry with temperatures dropping down into the 50s on Sunday. That's a look at your latest forecast on this Tuesday morning. Kelly will be in around noon to give you another update on your latest forecast.